placement for you. This is helpful. I just want to notice, okay, things that are not covered in the guide at all. But so the gist of it is this, like, you're literally wide away. And I feel like sometimes it can be helpful to really kind of to release some pressure that we tend to put through a lifetime of conditioning. It's actually one of the things I love about human design. I feel like really freeing to see just laid out, like it gives words to things that you didn't know how, and it makes sense of things, and it really helps hone in and release things that aren't yours so that you can make yourself fit a mold that isn't yours. Trying to force yourself into someone else's model, the hard and the awesome parts, right? Because we all have both at the same time. There's no good or bad. It's just, okay. So we all have things, charts that are easier and things that can make things a little more challenging, right? But hopefully seeing a few of these aspects can have perspective. So the first thing that I notice here, okay, the 3 line, okay. So I may have told you this when we've been a while since I gave you your overview, but so here is your profile line comes from these numbers, right? 0.3 here in your conscious sun, right? And then your 0.5 in your unconscious sun. So that makes you a 3-5. Okay, you're a 3-5 profile. That's kind of how you show up in the world, right? So mine is not the same as you, but I do have a 3 in my profile. So I can relate in this respect, okay? So I can relate to the overall energy with the energy of trial and error in life, right? That's what the 3 represents. So totally understand. And I know you and I on a lot of levels, some similar challenges in our lives, but we have a tendency with the 3, we learn through experience. Okay. We test things out. We see how it feels. And if I do this, right, then we assess and we make adjustments from there, right? Does that resonate for you? I guarantee you it does. Okay. As a 3-5, right? Different than the 1, but as a 3-5, you learn through trial and error. Okay. You must experiment in order to find that is just how you're wired. Okay. So for you, you benefit from low opportunities. Okay. You need a chance to implement, right? In a that's not like life or death, right? You need to be able to implement instead of this like huge, immense pressure to get it right. Okay. And I know that's said than done, especially when you're a single mom. This experience with you. Okay. Yeah, shift this, right? We may tend to internalize a false sense of failure, right? Unless you remember this is how you're designed to learn. We have a tendency to look to others and how they're wired and think that that applies to us. And that's not the case. We are different. We are unique. Okay. So when you're not aware of this, you may make yourself wrong, or feel like you're messing up, you're failing all the time. That's not happening. That is your process. Okay. You have to go through this learn. It's a learn your blueprint. Okay. So I'm sure you've probably noticed that pattern for yourself. The next thing that I notice for you, okay, split definition. Okay, what is that? Okay, and here it talks about collaboration and regular human design speak. It's split definition, which means what? In your case, you have 2 distinct circuitries, right? These are connected, they're lit up, right? With this channel specifically here. And then these 2 are lit up. Why? Because this channel specifically for you. Every chart's different. Everybody's different. I'm a triple split. Some people are single. There's just, right. So for you, you are a single split, which means you have those 2 distinct circuits. They're separated. Okay. So what does that mean? That means you probably feel like you almost get it, but you can't quite the dots. Why is that? Because you have an external need for bridging. Okay. In your case, what would ease this pressure the most, one specific gate right here. When you're around people that have this gate, it's going to immediately light up this whole thing. There's other circuitry that can connect it, but for you specifically, it's that one specific gate that's going to connect this whole thing and make it one true circuit, right? So when you're in connection with or around people that have that gate or other gates that will bridge that split for you, it's going to naturally help all these things click, right? So that's all it is. It's just that external bridging for you. Bridge that gap is going to help things click. So the other thing I want to mention, this especially for aren't super deep into it, because I don't want to overwhelm or give too much for me. But something just to touch on. This is a deeper layer of your chart. Okay. The variables. Okay. So for you, your variables here. Okay. Now for you, yours include things that work for you as far as learning styles. It's structure, logic, physical engagement, and passive intake and relaxed focus. Okay. There's arrows in the variables that are going to indicate which thing, right? Okay, so you have arrows that like logical structure, right? Teaching, like that work really well. And then there's another view that really leans more physical engagement, right? Writing notes, and I know you like to draw the handwritten things. You're totally into the written notes. Totally makes sense. Moving around, voicing your thoughts, right? The aspect of your chart that you like passive intake, right? Like let it wash over you, right? Storytelling, petition, that kind of thing. And then you also have another piece more open focus, right? Detail obsessed. So it's a combination of things. That's why this work can be a little tricky, because there's a lot of layers. There's a lot of, it's not all one specific way. That's why it feels complicated sometimes, I think, right? So overall takeaway here, you need to be able to absorb things at your own pace and not put to like everything all at once. So overall style for you is you really thrive with guidance that you can experiment with gradually, right? You need to always remember that trial of your genius, okay? You're wired that way. That is how you operate. That's part of your process. You cannot get to the next level without that part. So the messy middle is totally okay. I know it feels like it's hard. I totally relate, but it's okay. It's part of the process, right? You just need to provide yourself a safe space to revisit the materials multiple times, and kind of let it wash over you and let it kind of come in gradual pieces, right? Not be afraid to just jump in and do it not perfect. It's just saying that your gut is going to tell you and your cues, and you're going to know when something's right, and you're going to know when something clicks, and just less pressure, I guess, on it to hurry up, especially when a lot. I get it. Single moms, we're carrying a lot. We have a person who relies on us. In my case, I have two little people, everything, and we feel so much pressure to get things right and to make it work for them, not just for ourselves. And I totally get that. And I appreciate you, and that's helpful. All right, I gotta go because one of mine is knocking on the door.